So, chapter two was the follow through of the promise made by Steinbeck at the start of the novel. At the start of the novel, we're given an introduction to the world of nature, a world of beauty, a world of calm sereneness, with the world of man just kind of ominously underfoot. In chapter two, we're introduced to a much more harsh and painful reality, a reality that's cold and drab and dreary, uh, a reality that's quite painful and at times quite scary to the people who are living in it, most notably to Lenny. Um, During the course of the chapter, we're introduced to a lot of the supporting characters of the text. Um, First, we meet uh, the boss, who, quite frankly, scares Lenny via his attack because they were a day late. Uh, because George had decided to camp at um, in the clearing the night before. Um, Luckily, George is smart enough to talk his way out of it. Lenny keeps his mouth shut, but leaves terrified. After that, they're escorted to the bunkhouse where they meet Candy, or the Swamper, who's a broken old man, escorted by his or followed by his stinky old dog. This dog becomes a motif throughout the course of the text, and one of the questions that you may be answering today is related to this dog as well as others, because there's a comparison not only um, between Candy and his dog, but also Lenny and the dogs, which you're going to want to note and pay attention to. Um, while they're talking, we are introduced to Curly, who is the boss's son, who, quite frankly, terrifies Lenny, and he should. As a little man with a Napoleon complex who had just been married and can't keep track of his wife, who is referred to by the other characters as a tart and a harlot and all sorts of nasty names. Um, there's an implication that uh, Curly can't keep track of his wife because he's not man enough. Um, Curly, a boxer, angry with the Napoleon complex, terrifies Lenny, and rightfully so. Um, After he leaves, we are introduced to Curly's wife, who enters the bunkhouse right after him, obviously. He is not doing a good job of keeping track of her, or looking for her in the right places. Um, uh, After a short discussion, she terrifies George, not so much Lenny, but when she leaves, George quickly persuades Lenny that he should be scared of her. Um, Later on in the text, we meet up with Slim and Carlson, both of whom are more positive characters in the text. Um, but what I'd like us to do today is focus on the harshness of the reality that these men have been forced into.